Based in Alexandria, wood products company Roy O. Martin is proud to fulfill our founder's legacy in supporting the social, educational, and cultural needs of our local communities. The Louisiana Lottery is proud to join LPB in honoring Louisiana Legends, contributing nearly $4.9 billion to K-12 public education. The lottery is giving Louisiana a reason to smile. Community Renewal International is proud to honor John Dalton and all of the legends who lift others and transform lives. From Shreveport to the world, we're building communities of hope and connection. More at communityrenewal.us. The Washington Commanders are excited to honor Doug Williams and all of the Louisiana legends who inspire, lead by example, and make a lasting impact on the field and beyond. More at commanders.com. The 2025 Louisiana Legends Gala is brought to you by the Gail and Tom Benson Charitable Foundation, the William J. Doré family, Community Renewal International, the Washington Commanders Foundation, Roy O. Martin, Louisiana Lottery, with the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting, and viewers like you.
Good evening. I am Paula Pennington de Laverton, and I am honored to welcome you to the 2025 Louisiana Legends Gala. When my family was recognized as a Louisiana Legend in 2023, it was a moment we will treasure forever. A true celebration of our roots, our journey, and our love for this great state. Tonight, it's an incredible privilege to be here, standing before you, to welcome the newest class of legends. You are joining an extraordinary circle of leaders and visionaries like country music icon Kix Brooks, world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews, and award-winning actress Lynn Whitfield. Tonight, you become part of that distinguished legacy. Your achievements have already left a mark, and now your story becomes part of Louisiana's rich and inspiring history. Tonight, we celebrate you, our 6 newest honorees, as part of the Louisiana Legends family. Congratulations, and may your legacy continue to inspire future generations.
Since 1990, LPB has honored the best and brightest who have brought acclaim both to themselves and to Louisiana, earning them the distinction of Louisiana Legend. Welcome to the Louisiana Legends Gala.
Hi, I'm Robin Merritt, co-host for this evening's gala.
And I'm John Dennison, and what a wonderful way to kick off this special evening with all of you. Many thanks to Paula Pennington de Laverton for that warm welcome and for helping honor this year's distinguished class of inductees. And we also want to welcome you to Louisiana's historic Old State Capitol as we celebrate the 2025 Legends. We're so glad you're here with us this evening for this live broadcast of the awards ceremony. It is a truly meaningful moment to gather in recognition of individuals whose extraordinary contributions have enriched our state in so many ways. Tonight, we celebrate their legacy and the impact they made. And I'd also like to extend a heartfelt welcome to our esteemed former honorees this evening. Your continued presence here on this night makes this night even that much more special. May I kindly ask those in attendance, Paula Pennington de Laverton and Dr. Stephen McGuire, to please stand. We are honored to have you here with us tonight.
Established in 1990, the Louisiana Legends Gala was created to celebrate the achievements of our state's most accomplished sons and daughters, individuals who have made their mark across a wide range of fields, including public service, military service, the arts, philanthropy, and sports. This year's honorees become part of a distinguished legacy, joining 167 past Louisiana Legends, a remarkable roster that features Academy Award and Grammy Award winners, a Nobel laureate, legendary athletes, world-renowned chefs, and influential public figures, including 2 former UN ambassadors.
And this evening is even more special. It marks 35 years of celebrating Louisiana Legends. We're honored to welcome tonight our 6 exceptional individuals into this esteemed circle. We first extend our sincere thanks to Secretary of State Nancy Landry and her dedicated staff for making it possible to broadcast from this beautiful building, Louisiana's old state capitol. It's always a privilege to host the gala from this magnificent historic landmark and museum, a place that so beautifully reflects the legacy of our state and the spirit of our honorees and Louisiana. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to introduce the 2025 Louisiana Legends. His distinguished career has spanned a wide range of sectors, including government, education, industry, and healthcare. Dan Borne.
Internationally acclaimed watercolor artist, Judi Betts.
Appointed by President Bill Clinton, he served as the 70th Secretary of the Navy, providing leadership to one of our nation's most critical military branches. John H. Dalton.
Nationally recognized leader and passionate advocate, committed to ending hunger and uplifting communities, Claire Babineaux-Fontenot.
Chairman of a global enterprise whose philanthropic vision has left a lasting impact on the city of New Orleans, Bill Goldring.
Trailblazing athlete, NFL great, coach, and executive whose legacy in the sport of football is truly inspiring, Doug Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, our 2025 Louisiana Legends. You may be seated, please. Well, first, a trusted advisor and industry leader. His legacy reflects a lifelong commitment to Louisiana's most vital institutions. And of course, we can't forget the iconic voice of the LSU Tigers, immortalized in Tiger Stadium in the legendary forecast. Chance of rain, never. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Borne.
Dan is legendary because he is real, and he is who he is, and it's never changed. He's a God-fearing person, it's a family guy, and he's never forgotten where he came from.
Dan Borne has never met a stranger. I think when he meets you, he's pleasant, He's open them, he's inviting. And the other thing is he listens. He'll listen to you. And he really makes people feel welcome.
He has been a lot of fun as a husband. There have not been very many dull moments in our marriage.
Faith just simply naturally populates his life in a way that is impressive, but doesn't call attention to itself until you stop and say, that's a really good man.
Dan Borne's love affair with LSU began in Thibodaux, Louisiana, where the sounds of Tiger Stadium filled the airwaves.
From a little boy with his head next to a radio, he's loved LSU sports.
Yet it's at Nichols State where he began announcing baseball games and where his love affair with his future wife, Lizette, began.
He credits me for getting him through his freshman year, although he needed no help from me, really.
After graduation, Dan began his broadcasting career at Channel 9 in Baton Rouge, delivering sports and news while pursuing graduate studies at LSU. But the political arena soon beckoned. In Washington, he served 3 distinguished senators. First, Allen Ellender, then Elaine Edwards following Ellender's death, and finally, Russell Long, whose mentorship would prove particularly influential.
He was, trained by probably the greatest legacy of political families in the history of Louisiana, the Long family, and his time with Russell Long made him a student of understanding what makes people think and how they think and what they feel about Louisiana.
Dan had those same feelings about Louisiana.
It's really true, that cliche, there's no place like home. And when he had an opportunity to come home, he took it.
That job was for Governor Edwin Edwards. Yet as his family grew, Dan made a pivotal decision about his career.
To be a dad and travel as much as you travel with a governmental official was not the best way to get to know your kids. And so he took a job in the private sector with Kaiser Aluminum, where he worked for about 10 years. After Kaiser, went to work for his very long-time job as president of the Louisiana Chemical Association.
The one true thing about Dan is that he never treated you as if there was a relationship of a boss and an employer. It was always equal, and he gave you a chance to give your views and to really be, to grow into a position.
By the late 1980s, Dan had established himself as a respected voice in Louisiana's chemical industry. Yet his childhood passion for LSU sports had never faded. When the longtime public address announcer at Tiger Stadium retired, Dan stepped into a role that would forever change Saturday nights in Death Valley.
Chance of rain? Never.
Dan has that distinguished style. He's really a word master. He knows how to put things in a proper perspective, and unlike most of us, he's never at a loss for words or phrases, and he seems to do it at the right time.
This is LSU. Champions are made here.
Just like an MC in an event or someone who's running the show, he is the quiet, Ed Sullivan of our time for Tiger Stadium.
Later in life, Dan would answer another calling to serve as a deacon in the Catholic Church.
He is called to preach and to minister at the altar. He's a very humble man. I didn't know he was the voice of Death Valley, so to speak, until I found that from someone else.
I think Dan's a Louisiana treasure. I like to think that he's our ambassador for the state of Louisiana.
He came up with this expression, this mantra. He says, my life has been a life of miracles and mercy. And we talked at length about his education, his time in government, his career, our marriage, raising and parenting 4 children. We laughed one day because he said, well, when you think about miracles and mercy, think about some of those games I announced. You know, nearly 40 years of being the PA announcer. He saw many miracles, and LSU had a lot of mercy during that time. So it was a pretty good mantra he came up with.
History is made here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Borne.
Thank you. Thank you, John. I'm humbled and grateful to be counted among the other inductees and those who have been named legends before us. Congratulations. And I thank all who have had a role in making this special evening possible. LPB, friends of LPB, you benefactors, all of you. Mama and Daddy were of the greatest generation. They bequeathed to their boys two things: to be committed to our faith and to be faithful to our commitments. For those times when I have lived according to that legacy, I thank God for his guiding hand. And for those times I have not, I thank God for his forgiveness. At every stage of my career, from college to the diaconate, I have been blessed with teachers and mentors who are doing things that I was interested in knowing more about. They generously helped me with their time and talent, their counsel, their encouragement, and when necessary, their constructive criticism and correction. And I have been graced over the decades to work for and with so many colleagues who have been so competent and so supportive. They all share in this recognition. You saw some of them in the video this evening. But most supportive of all, and to whom I owe the greatest debt of gratitude, is my family, especially my dear wife, Lizette. To paraphrase a line from Camelot, if I could choose from every woman who breathes on this earth, the face that I would most love, the smile, the touch, the heart, the voice, the laugh, the soul itself, every detail and feature, down to the last strand of hair, they would all be Lizette's, the love of my life for nearly 60 years. But for her support, her encouragement, her love, along with her frequent critiques, I would not be here tonight. Thank you, Zette. We inductees were asked to say a few words about what Louisiana means to us. I am thankful that I was born and raised in this state, and except for a few years in Washington, my family and I have lived and worked here. Louisiana has been a land of tremendous opportunity for me to pursue our dreams, to travel to every parish in the state when I was in politics, and to meet people from every walk of life and every occupation. Our cultural diversity is second to none, and we should be really proud that we are a gumbo of humanity. We should never sell our Louisiana short and promote it as a place to settle, to raise a family, to work, to retire, and to prosper. As we say in Tiger Stadium at the end of a game, that's a wrap, and indeed it is for me. Thank you again.
Congratulations, Dan. A highly esteemed painter, instructor, juror, and author, she has earned an international reputation for her exquisite transparent watercolor paintings. Her work has been showcased in prestigious invitational exhibitions around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Judi Betts.
Her watercolors are very lively. They're full of personality. She just makes watercolors sing.
She always tried to find a way to put sparkle into her paintings, a color that you wouldn't expect.
And she loves people every bit as much as she loves color. She loves people, and she has a way of engaging and connecting with people and connecting people with the world around her.
She is a fantastic artist. She's just a legend. What more can I say?
Some lives paint the world in brighter colors. For more than 60 years, Judi Betts has transformed ordinary scenes into extraordinary watercolors, earning international acclaim and touching countless lives along the way. Born in Chicago in 1936, Judi and her identical twin sister Janet grew up in a home where creativity flourished.
We both had art lessons from a lady named Marilyn Nerad. And the interesting part of this story is that many years later, the art teacher, Marilyn Nerad, took Judi's class. So her teacher then became her student. And that's kind of interesting, special thing.
Judi's early passion for art led her to Indiana University, where she mastered silversmithing and jewelry design. But watercolor soon captured her imagination and became her true artistic voice.
Judi, from younger years, went to California a lot to take classes from some of the best watercolorists in the country. There were 4 or 5 of them at the time. And ever since then, she's just kept progressing and looking for new ways and thoughts of how to do these things and talking with other artists.
In college, Judi met the man who would become both her husband and greatest champion, Tom Betts. They married in June 1959, and when opportunity called Tom to Baton Rouge, the couple embarked on a new adventure together. But for Tom, Judi's art came first.
He was a big force behind her, encouraging her to keep creating, and then once that momentum started and her work became so popular, then that motion just kept going, and the positive feedback that she would get and the people being moved by her work, it just continued to keep that ball rolling, and still rolling.
With the steadfast support of Tom, Judi blazed new trails in art education. While earning her master's degree in education from LSU, she became Ascension Parish's first public school art teacher. Her inspiring workshops for adults and influential books would go on to guide countless aspiring artists.
Her teaching style was very engaging. She would do live demonstrations, just so full of life, and her creativity juices would just flow amongst us, and we had a marvelous time.
I didn't know Judi at the time, but she came bubbling into our classroom. We put all the students together. There were 40 students, and she came in with a box of donuts that she made the students paint before they could eat them. She just had that kind of personality that everybody wanted to love Judi. Still do.
Her influence would soon reach far beyond Louisiana's borders.
She's taught in all but 2 of the states. She's taught on the QE2. She's taught in Europe. She's taught in Japan.
Judi's work has garnered international recognition, with paintings displayed from Shanghai to Stockholm. Yet her art has always been about more than accolades.
Judi never stops making art. I've got a book of postcards, of letters that she's written, and every one of them is a small jewel. So she just lives her art.
Judi's mastery of watercolor has earned her one of the field's highest honors, signature membership in the American Watercolor Society, a distinction achieved by only a select few artists worldwide.
It's very difficult to be accepted in American watercolor, and to become a signature member at that time, you had to have 3 paintings accepted within 5 years.
Collectors treasure Betts's paintings, not just as artwork, but as testimonies to her masterful innovation. Each piece a testament to her unique vision.
Her techniques in watercolor are legendary. She invents things continually, and that's where she gets a lot of her joy, is continually pushing herself to find new ways to do things so it's never stale, it's always fresh, and that's how she sees life.
Judi's beloved husband Tom passed away in 2012, yet she pushes on with more than 1,000 paintings cataloged and countless more in progress. She continues to break new ground, pioneering techniques like her 3D watercolors that defy the boundaries of paint and paper.
Judi is also an inventor. She invents color cords, she's invented a special paintbrush with bristles on both sides, and invented aquagami. That's her 3D watercolor.
In 2023, Judi's 60-year retrospective in Baton Rouge made history. Judi's Baton Rouge studio hums with constant creation. Yet her most enduring masterpiece lives not on canvas, but in the countless artists she's inspired to see the world through her eyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Judi Betts.
Is this ready? I don't know. Oh, maybe they had it right and I'm moving it. We'll try this. Bonsoir and merci beaucoup. I am honored to be included at this gala, the 36-year celebration for Louisiana Legends. As expressed on a T-shirt I saw it once, I wasn't born here, but I got here as fast as I could. I was born Judith Marie Polifka, that's a Polish name, along with my twin sister, Janet Corrine Polifka, in Chicago, Illinois, on May 26, 1936. Janet is here with me tonight to help celebrate. She's there. Janet, will you stand, please? Yes, she and her husband retired to Savannah from the Philadelphia area. They thought they were coming to the best part of the South, but we think ours is the best, don't we? Kathy, will you stand? Kathy Curtis is my niece. She's from Laguna Beach, California, and works for a company out of Aspen, Colorado, where she's a manager. And they live in California, so she commutes a little ways to her favorite state. My favorite nephew, Jim Curtis, is here. Jim, please remain standing. Yeah. Okay, Jim, he's with the U.S. Department of Commerce, and he probably came the greatest distance of anybody in this room tonight. He and his cute Chinese wife and 4 children live in Brussels, Belgium. Yeah. I hope you'll invite me to come for Christmas sometime. Yeah. One of my special memories as a child is walking into church ahead of our parents and hearing people say, "Look at the twins." Of course, we dressed alike, even in high school. Being a twin means you never have to play alone. We graduated from Lyons Township High School in LaGrange, Illinois, in 1954. About 30 years later, I was inducted into the High School Hall of Fame, where my face is in bronze. Janet and I attended Indiana University. My major was fine arts, and my sister majored in music. We were members of Alpha Omicron Pi sorority, and I received the Founders Award at an international convention in New York City a few years ago. I hadn't planned to go to the convention, but I had taught the week before in Maine, and so my kind husband said, well, I'll just send you to New York first. I mean, after you teach in Maine, you can go through New York City and be with that group, and then fly to Philadelphia to see Janet and Chuck, and then come home. So that's what I did. We graduated in 1958, and I taught our 1 year in Oak Park, Illinois. I met my future husband, Tom Betts, in the spring of our freshman year at Indiana University, and we were married on June 21st, 1959, in Western Springs, Illinois. He accepted a management position with Cargo Carriers, a subsidiary of Cargill Grain in Baton Rouge, and we moved here in 1959. We drove a 1954 Ford convertible named the Gray Goose to Louisiana, mostly with the top down. We love all things Louisiana. Traveling throughout the state, we enjoyed the Louisiana landscape as well as plantation homes, historic buildings, interesting animals, and people. Moving to the south provided warm weather, sunshine, and beautiful shadows. I would sometimes say to Tom, please go back down that road. I need to get another photograph of those cattle. He always willingly obliged. I probably am best known for painting farm animals, boats, and architecture. And I really like animals. I had never seen a Brahma bull or anything like that before, and palm trees I'd never seen. Of course, we had seen lots of snow. It was interesting even just a few weeks ago, or I guess it's months ago, when it snowed a bit here in South Louisiana, how people who have never seen snow think it's so different. And of course, we grew up with it, so I know what snow is all about, but I like the sunshine better. In 1966, East Ascension High School opened, and I was hired to teach art, becoming the first art teacher in Ascension Parish. I taught there for 25 years. Before they opened that high school, I accepted a job teaching 5th grade. I was not certified to teach the lower grades, but I wanted a job, so I agreed to do it. When teachers have the first couple meetings of the year, they always are given a list of students. That one of those years, I looked at my list and I thought to myself, I have a lot of 5th graders that I'll be teaching. So I quickly counted. There were 42. That was bad enough, but 32 were boys. I had 32 boys and 10 girls. Yeah. It was mentioned on the video that I had studied with some of the California watercolor artists. California, because of its beautiful climate, Kathy, many watercolor artists had their start because they could work outside most of the year. And I chose the ones I thought were the most experienced and that I admired to go study with. They encouraged me to enter state, regional, national, and international painting competitions. Some of my friends who paint are wonderful painters. They don't know how well they paint and draw, but they haven't received accolades. And sometimes they're surprised at the success I've had, but I've entered many, I suppose hundreds of competitions. Just a few weeks ago in Lubbock, Texas, I won an award, not for the painting, but I had entered the Western Federated Societies of Watercolor shows with the most paintings of anybody in the United States. And the Railsbacks were there to accept the award. Dr. Charles and Jackie, where are you? I don't see you. Well, there you are. Thank you. They drove 6 hours each way from Dallas to accept that award for me. And it wasn't even for a painting, but I was indeed thrilled. If you've never seen cowboy boots that are personalized, Dr. Railsback has beautiful boots that have the 404. No, that's not right. Is that right? Dr. Charles, is that right, 404? Black Angus Ranch near Abilene, Texas, and it's on his boots. They're very handsome indeed, and he had them resold just for this event. I owe so much of my life and success to my wonderful husband, Tom. We were married for 53 years. He died 15 years ago. Tom was one of my strongest supporters and would often say, especially after breakfast, "You go paint, I'll do the dishes." We traveled across America, and I taught watercolor workshop in 48 of our 50 states. North Dakota and Delaware await. International workshops were also given. Some of my favorites were in Asia. We were in Japan at Cherry Blossom Time a few years ago, and that was spectacular. We rode elephants in the rivers when I taught a workshop in Bali, Indonesia, and I also got to drive a dog sled in Alaska. I taught many times at the University of Alaska, Fairbanks. Tom and I established and co-owned Rama, a popular restaurant on Perkins Road that served Thai food for 43 years. We loved jambalaya, crawfish, Mardi Gras parades, and Mardi Gras and all things Louisiana, but it was fun having the Thai restaurant. In 1987, we published a book, Watercolor, Let's Think About It, which is now in its third printing. Would you hold this, please? Thank you. He seemed like he might fall asleep, so I decided to give him a job. That's what you do with boys in the class, you know, you give them a job. Would you please take the trash out? Okay. This book has won many awards, and it's in its third printing. This is the catalog from the retrospective at LSU and the Shaw Center. And this is a book that's kind of strange in that the title starts on the back. And it's interesting. I like to do things that are different, not upside down, though. Painting a quest toward extraordinary. So in a bookstore, they can make a stack like this, and then the other stack would be next to it like that. And my co-author, Charlotte Huntley from Southern California. Thank you. You did that very well. You got an A.
You woke me up. You woke me up. I got it.
Okay, thank you. Oh, heavily, Chris, what do you call that? The book with extraordinary, with the heavy cover. What's that called? Are you here, Chris? He must be asleep. Anyway, the heavy bound cover book, they were printed here in Baton Rouge, And then they went to a bindery in Texas, and they almost filled an 18-wheeler coming back. And that book also won a big award in a book competition. My paintings have also been included in more than 100, no, excuse me, I read that wrong, 40 books by contemporary artists. By that I don't mean artists that do just abstract work, but other artists that were doing books chose to showcase some of mine also. That's always very exciting. Using Arch's 140-pound watercolor paper, I have painted hundreds of watercolors and filled over 125 sketchbooks with colorful paintings and line drawings. For most artists, sketching is just as much fun, if not more fun, than painting. When you sketch, it's sort of like getting a snack in the kitchen when they're fixing dinner. It almost tastes better than sitting at the table and having dinner. So I love to sketch, and I even sketch my meals sometimes. And I assign that for people in my class. They're very surprised, but they seem to enjoy it also. I completed a master's degree from Louisiana State University and have taught there as a guest artist, teaching watercolor to sophomore design students. By the way, I still enjoy painting and always will. Someone else can do the dishes. Once again, thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I will treasure it always. Thank you.
In recognition of his enduring impact on the Navy, including his pivotal role in integrating female soldiers onto combat ships, the USS John H. Dalton submarine was named in his honor. Ladies and gentlemen, let's learn more about John H. Dalton.
John Dalton is a remarkably enthusiastic person. He wakes up every day making efforts to make things better, and he believes he can do it. I've never met anybody quite like him. He never seems to let his engine run down. He just keeps going.
Faith in his family and friends were at the core of his life.
It's one thing to live a good life. It's quite another thing to give good life to others. And literally thousands, without exaggeration, thousands of lives, including my own, have been impacted by the life of John Howard Dalton.
The youngest of three children, John Dalton was born in New Orleans in 1941. His father worked for the railroad, moving the family to Shreveport when John was 3.
They were a very, very close family, and he was showered with love from the time he was born.
After high school, Dalton secured a coveted spot at the United States Naval Academy, where his character and commitment quickly set him apart from his peers.
John was one of the most unselfish persons I ever met. He was a true shipmate, shared all of his knowledge, and was never afraid to guide or assist in other ways with the rest of us who were trying to progress.
At the Naval Academy, John rose to Deputy Brigade Commander, second in command of all midshipmen. His senior year bridged historic moments, from marching in President Kennedy's inaugural parade to leading the honor company at the president's funeral. After After John graduated from the Naval Academy, he served aboard 2 historic vessels. The Navy's final diesel-electric submarine, Blueback SS-581, and one of its newest nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines, USS John C. Calhoun.
I picked him first because he loved the Navy, and he would never knowingly do anything that wasn't good for it. Secondly, because I thought he was really aware of the world we were living in and the one toward which we were going. So he knew he had to continuously modernize our armed forces and attract more and more people of diverse backgrounds to the Navy.
His 5-year tenure transformed the Navy, including the historic integration of women into combat ships. This distinguished service earned him the National Security Caucus's International Leadership Award, the only service secretary ever honored.
It is such a wonderful recognition in itself. Even if I was never given the award, I'm grateful to you guys for your strong support.
In 2016, the Navy announced the naming of the USS John H. Dalton submarine, recognizing his lasting impact on the service. Through every achievement, 2 qualities defined John Dalton: his warmth and his devotion to family.
The love of his life is his wife, Margaret, and also very key to John's success. It's a true partnership.
He's always ready to laugh. He's very affectionate with just about everybody, especially family members. We have 2 sons and 4 grandsons and 2 wonderful daughters-in-law, and he lets them know how much he loves them.
If John Dalton is your friend, if Margaret is your friend, you don't have to worry when the going gets tough. You never have to look over your shoulder. You know he's got your back.
We received news in 2007 that my daughter-in-law had stage 3 heading to stage 4 breast cancer. And I called John, and John said, I will be on my knees every morning in prayer for her. And I'm sorry, but it meant so much. And when I told Kelly, my daughter-in-law, that this man every morning would be on his knees for her, it helped her in ways I can't even imagine.
Today, John leads Community Renewal International's National Advisory Board, building safer communities through personal relationships. At Washington National Cathedral, he serves as honorary canon, continuing the faith that has guided him from the start.
He's legendary because he has the hope that all could not only grow better, but will be better. And with that hope that he lives out, he inspires everyone around whom he touches.
John is a very empathetic person, and you don't always encounter that in someone who's risen to the ranks of, like, being the 70th Secretary of the Navy. He will call you when he knows that you're going through a tough time.
Ladies and gentlemen, John H. Dalton.
Well, thank you, John, for that nice introduction. And thank you, friends of LPB, for this amazing award. It's especially humbling to me to be included with other awardees. Congratulations to each of you. As you saw in the video, I have been away from Louisiana for many years. But it is here my values and ethics are rooted. My parents, Noel Methodist Church in Shreveport, and the public schools I attended, especially Byrd High School, which, by the way, celebrates its 100th anniversary next month. Louisiana runs deep in my blood. My mother's family has been here for generations, as my wife Margaret's has been as well. I was born in New Orleans, and Margaret and I were both reared in Shreveport. I was born in New Orleans and reared in Shreveport. We all graduated from Byrd, brothers and sisters, even Margaret's parents. When I graduated from Byrd, I had hoped to go to the Naval Academy. But I did not get in that year. That gave me the great opportunity to go to LSU for my freshman year. I had a wonderful year there. I was elected president of my Kappa Sig pledge class, elected to represent the freshman class in student government, and I was inducted into Phi Eta Sigma, which is an honorary fraternity for academics. And of course, I went to all LSU Tiger football games. I saw Billy Cannon make his famous run against Ole Miss and win the Heisman Trophy. As much as I loved my year at LSU, I still had my heart set on the Naval Academy. I had a fraternity brother who told me, who had been 2 years at the academy and transferred to LSU, and he told me I would be crazy to give up all that I had at LSU to go to the Naval Academy. I did, though, reapply and was accepted, and which changed the entire direction of my life. While at the academy, I saw both Joe Babineaux and Roger Staubach win the Heisman Trophy. Not too shabby. 5 years of college and 3 Heisman Award winners. And just a side note, no matter where we lived, from the time we got married in 1971 we spent every Christmas in Shreveport until my parents were gone and Margaret's late parents moved to Houston in 2016, where her brothers are. After the Academy and the Navy and a year and a half at Wharton for an MBA, I joined Goldman Sachs in their Dallas office. As luck would have it, Louisiana was my territory. I loved that. I could always find time to spend with friends and family and fill up on that fabulous Louisiana food. I know that my video and bio fill in much of what I've done over the years, but the last few years have been very special. I serve on the boards of WETA, which is LPB's sister station, and it's the public broadcasting station in Washington, D.C., the Zactus, which is a corporate entity, and the White House Historical Association. During the COVID years, I wrote a memoir entitled At the Helm. My journey with family, faith, and friends to calm the storms of life. We have a wonderfully full and blessed life, but no matter where we live, Louisiana will always be home. May God's richest blessing be on every one of you, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Congratulations again, John. Recognized as one of Time's 100 most influential people of 2020, she stands as a visionary leader whose unwavering dedication to ending hunger is matched only by her deep compassion and bold sense of purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, let's learn more about Claire Babineaux-Fontenot.
Claire stands tall, both literally and figuratively. She walks into the room and you know who she is. There is no moment that is too big for Claire. You know she's going to bring her full self to it. She does it authentically and she does it with purpose.
She doesn't put on airs. She's the CEO of a major national organization, but she's still that girl that grew up in Louisiana and keeps that grounding and that background of being from Louisiana and who she is.
My mom is the kind of person, I think, who's always centered social responsibility in terms of her conception of herself and her conception of her duty to the world.
She's pretty amazing, thoughtful, meticulous, detail-oriented, compassionate, and pretty much just amazing at anything she touches.
Some lives are defined by service to others. In the heart of South Louisiana, Claire Babineaux-Fontenot's extraordinary journey began in Opelousas, where her parents transformed their home into a haven of hope, nurturing over 100 children in addition to their own through adoption and fostering.
She is who she is because of her family and her upbringing. She's going to tell you about her mother and father, her roots in her small town. She's going to tell you about her Catholic faith, how that shaped the person that she is, but she's also going to tell you that she's not just the daughter of two parents who raised 3 girls. She's going to tell you about her parents who raised over 100 children.
I don't think she grew up in a context in which it was easy to forget about a lot of the social problems that people are conditioned not to notice. And I think that that made a real impact on her, but her primary drive, given that, I suppose, was to create a universe in which that wasn't the reality for her children.
With this foundation of compassion and the drive to create meaningful change, Claire pursued higher education at the University of Southwestern Louisiana. She earned her law degree from Southern University Law Center, then embarked on a path that would take her from courtrooms to corporate boardrooms.
My mom began her career as a lawyer and a tax professional. And in that context, she moved on to work for PricewaterhouseCoopers in the accounting sector. She was an administrative law judge for a moment, and she ended up moving to Northwest Arkansas to work with Walmart.
Claire rose through the ranks at Walmart, bringing her unique perspective and leadership style to one of the world's largest corporations. But a personal health crisis prompted her to reconsider her life's purpose.
Towards the tail end of her career at Walmart, she discovered that she had breast cancer, which I think changed her, not necessarily changed her social orientation, because she had always cared about other people, but I think it created a sense of urgency in her in terms of creating a legacy for doing good.
In 2018, Claire became the CEO of Feeding America, the nation's largest domestic hunger relief organization. There, she found a mission that aligned perfectly with the values instilled in her from childhood.
Claire really changed the complexion of Feeding America from being a national office to really focusing on the clients, the people we're trying to help. And that's really brought her home to so many of the member organizations and to actually the people we work with, that she's led Feeding America to be the #1 charity in the United States.
She repaired the network relationships with the food banks. She really elevated the performance of the total network at a time that we needed it during COVID. And she has really brought a level of gravitas, I think, to our overall organization across the United States.
Claire's impact has been recognized far beyond Feeding America. In 2023, she received the prestigious Letare Medal from the University of Notre Dame, one of the highest honors for American Catholics.
Sometimes people think they have to do big things in order to make a change. But if each one of us would light a candle, we'd have a tremendous light. Let's go light a candle. Thank you.
It just tells you how impactful Claire has been beyond her sphere to be recognized on such a national level with such an important and impactful award.
She's always been so fundamentally rooted in what she can do for others. And she gave that to us, I think, as a mother, as a person in our community. She's given that to so many of our cousins, our relatives, and just people on the street who've gotten the chance to see her, to interact with her. She's such a special human being.
Anybody that's had any sort of meaningful exposure to Claire has become a better person because of it. She's, she makes everybody around her better. It's not just all about her and maximizing her professional or financial or other types of gains. It's about other people and rising tides, and she's definitely one of those folks that rises tides for all ships.
And she has done it all while remaining rooted in her Louisiana heritage.
Claire's from the part of the state that really is a can-do attitude, and that's really who she is. It comes through on a daily basis. I mean, the large number of family members she has really has broadened her horizons from a perspective of looking at people from every angle and trying to be more understanding than most people would expect.
No matter where she goes in the world, Claire is always going to be the little girl from Louisiana, and from a very small town in Louisiana. She is who she is because of her family and her upbringing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Claire Babineaux-Fontenot.
I didn't know what to expect, and yet I know my expectations were exceeded in that film. So if you indulge me a moment to collect myself. When I was told that I'd have the opportunity to speak today, I was also told that it might be nice for me to mention the impact that Louisiana has had on me among my words. And my immediate visceral reaction to that was to chuckle, because I am because of Louisiana. I was born, raised, and educated here. I learned what it meant to love and to be loved here. I became aware of the challenges that so many struggle with, and of their triumphs, and of their dreams here. I'm inspired to be my very best because of this state and the people in it and what they've invested in me. My parents who had so much love to share, that they spread that love across 108 children, including me. My husband who I met because I was from here, and I happened to be on a yellow school bus commuting from Opelousas to USL. A man who has known me for 43 years, who knows everything about me, who accepts me as I am, sometimes in spite of things he knows. And I'd like to believe often because of it. I have in-laws who have created such a strong sense of family for me. When I was born to one that was so big, I didn't even understand that I could embrace more, and yet they embraced me. Mary, Ruby, and Clarence Fontenot, thank you. Thank you so much for being my in-laws, and thank you in the absence of my parents for being my parents. You got to see my son. I learned the special kind of love that you feel when you become a parent here in Baton Rouge, in fact. Not just once, but twice with both of my children. How could I not talk about Louisiana when I have an opportunity to talk about who I am? It is just so intermingled, so beautifully mixed, so foundational to everything I want to be in the world, to everything I'm trying to be in the world. I'm inspired to try because of here, to get up when I fall because of here, to honor my elders because of here, to not look past children in need because of here. I'm so proud that right now I have an opportunity to serve among people like the gentleman that you saw, Mike Manning, here from Baton Rouge and the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, but so many more, over 1 million people who dedicate their lives to making certain that other people have what they need in order to thrive. I am so honored and humbled. And above all else, I am so deeply grateful. I'm grateful for this, but even more than this, I'm grateful to be a native daughter of the great state of Louisiana. Thank you so much.
A leader in one of the world's largest distilled spirits companies, he dedicated his career to shaping and strengthening the landscape of New Orleans. His enduring impact is deeply woven into the cultural and economic fabric of that city. Ladies and gentlemen, let's learn some more now about Bill Goldring.
Bill's leadership style is all about patience and perseverance. I mean, just like bourbon takes years to be prepared to go to market, and I'd say Bill's all about patience, thoughtfulness, helping others.
When Bill wakes up, he's doing business before he gets out of bed. And there's hardly a day that goes by that he doesn't wake up that way.
The thing that makes me most proud is the philanthropic part of his legacy. For my dad, it's never been about the awards. He does it because he cares about the community.
Some legacies are built not just in business, but in the spirit of giving. Bill Goldring's story begins in New Orleans. An only child, he attended Newman School from kindergarten through high school before graduating from Tulane University. From his earliest years, Goldring showed an extraordinary drive for excellence.
He was, from the beginning, super competitive in everything that he did. Classwork, sports, anything that he could get into, he jumped into it with 2 feet.
Bill joined the family spirits business after college, continuing a generations-old tradition. But over the next 6 decades, Bill would do more than just continue a family tradition. He grew the business into a thriving and beloved empire.
I think Bill kind of works in 3 compartments. On one side, he's very detailed. He worries about the writing on the label of one of his brands. And then he's very visionary in a big picture way, looking at the future of his business and the future of the industry. And then everything in between, he gives to the people who work for him. He hires good people and he empowers them to do their job and run all the stuff in the middle.
My dad treats everybody like family, and I think one of the traditions that he likes the most is celebrating birthdays. Every time anybody in the office has a birthday, you know, we have a cake and it's a big deal, and he likes to take pictures, and you know, we sing happy birthday, and it's a fun time.
Bill is a very low-key guy. He works behind the scenes. You won't see him on TV. You won't see him making commercials. He gets on the phone, he gets done what he wants to get done through relationships, talking to people one-on-one, and he can be very persuasive and influential when he does that with people.
Bill has used that influence to better the lives of those around him.
I think you become a legend over a lifetime, and Bill has had a lifetime of building businesses, wholesale wine and spirit business, wholesale beer business, and the manufacturing business of alcohol beverages, spirits through Sazerac. He's had a lifetime of philanthropy, of giving back to the community, and he's had a lifetime of leadership through service on boards, whether it be Tulane University, World War II Museum, the Business Council, Touro Infirmary, and so forth.
Bill is legendary because the New Orleans of today would not exist if not for Bill Goldring. What Bill has done in business, and particularly in philanthropy, in the arts, in education, in public spaces, has preserved New Orleans through all kinds of trials, including first and foremost Hurricane Katrina.
He gives lots of attention and support to things that don't have his name on it. And he doesn't really care about that recognition. In fact, he has to be pushed many times by his family to agree to put their name on things.
Bill's commitment to giving back to the community lies in a lesson learned from his father, Stephen, one that would shape his life's mission.
His father wrote him a letter when he turned 21, and he told Bill a number of things, one of which is the responsibility that comes with wealth. And while wealth can be a blessing, it's also a responsibility that you have to give back to the community. You have to use that wealth for the good of others. And Bill has carried that letter with him for 60 years. And he refers to it often. He's had it framed. He shares it with others all the time. And that's a guiding principle for him.
This family commitment to giving back took a remarkable turn when Bill's father passed away in 1996.
When his father passed away, he had a very simple will that said, I leave everything to my son, Bill, and if Bill chooses to renounce the gift, it all goes into the family foundation. And Bill chose to not take anything from his father and to put all of his father's estate into the family foundation. And one of the things he did with that was he created a scholarship program where we give a scholarship to every dependent child of every one of our 10,000 or so employees to go to college.
Even today, at the height of his success, Bill's drive remains undiminished.
What he has done has not been fast, and it's not been easy. It's been an accretive process. And I think what I really love about Bill is you can see he's somebody that could have taken his foot off the gas pedal, literally decades ago. But that's not who he is. You can see that the joy in him is getting up and every day understanding how he can take the company, take his philanthropy, take his community a little bit further.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Goldring.
Thank you very much for this kind tribute to the Louisiana Public Broadcasting, my friends and family who are all here, with my best friends and fellow honorees. Thank you for this great honor. I'm humbled to share this honor with all of you and all the Louisiana legends that have come before me and for those that will follow. The word legend stems from the ancient Latin verb meaning to gather and read. In the ancient world, people would gather to read stories so fantastical that they literally gave rise to the word legend today. A legend is a story that is so fantastical that is almost unbelievable. As I reflect upon our Louisiana community today, I am conscious of the legends of our state's recent history. The comeback from Katrina, COVID, the recent terrorist attack, the continued fight for the education and health of our future generations. The story of Louisiana is legendary, and it is still being written. So it felt right that we are gathered to share a little bit about my minuscule piece of the legend of Louisiana and how I hope we will continue to write the legend of Louisiana for years to come. My grandfather, Newman Goldring, started a small liquor business in 1898 in Pensacola, Florida. My father perpetuated that legend, so to speak, with a distributorship and moving to Louisiana in 1939 after the repeal of Prohibition. By 1944, he expanded the business to New Orleans and the state of Louisiana. Today, under the umbrella of the Sazerac Company, we are the largest private producer of beverage alcohol in the United States. We own and produce and distill such brands like Buffalo Trace, Fireball, Southern Comfort, Pappy Van Winkle, Myers Rum, and Seagram VO. That's just the tip of the iceberg that we carry some 500 plus brands. The foundation laid by my father and grandfather to place me on this stage would be considered by many to be legendary. Think, a business that started over 100 years ago on the Gulf Coast migrated to New Orleans and now produces 1 out of every 5 brands sold in the United States. However, my grandfather and father are legendary to me, far more for their philanthropic nature than their business nature. On my 21st birthday, my father gave me a letter which Paul had previously mentioned in the film. In the ancient spirit of the word legend, it seems fitting that we're gathered here and we read that they would have done in the ancient world. In my father's letter, he wrote, "Intelligent use of wealth can bring power and happiness, not only to you, but to many. As you get older, you must serve your community." He further told me that wealth and success can bring me much happiness, but it comes with even greater responsibility. To answer the call of that philanthropic responsibility, I formed the Goldring Family Foundation, and throughout the years have emphasized the opportunity to build our Louisiana community through our gifts. Those foundations and their charitable giving have created stories that have become legendary. The foundations have established community centers, museums known around the world, and schools that have sculptured countless minds. We have committed scholarships to each dependent child of our employees, and we have over 1,000 employees just in Louisiana, but many, many thousand more around the country. As people quietly write their own legends from our generosity, I take pride in knowing that I could truly never know or believe the impact of a community's generosity. My father and grandfather could never have imagined what so many have accomplished standing on their foundation. It surely would have sounded like a legend to them. I can assure you that each story of impact I hear from our foundation sounds like a legend to me, because it's nearly unbelievable to see the various ways people build off the foundations of our generosity. As you gathered from me and allowed me to share my story, I exhort each of you in this room to make more legends, to continue and create legendary characters in the story of Louisiana, whether we build on the foundation of those who have come before us or lay the foundation for someone else through our generosity. Let's ensure that we continue to have stories and accomplishments that are borderline unbelievable. The legend of Louisiana deserves no less. Thank you for the honor and the opportunity to be here as part of this great event. I look forward to the legends as we continue to write and produce them together. Thank you.
Cheers to you, Bill. Cheers to you. A generational talent making history as the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl and earn MVP honors. His legacy of courage, resilience, and quiet strength continues to inspire generations on the field, in leadership, and beyond. Join us as we learn more, ladies and gentlemen, about Doug Williams.
Doug Williams is legendary because, A, he's a great person. He is an outstanding individual, and then he was a really good football player.
Just his playing style overall, his leadership role, and then he was overall the pioneer of everything. First African-American quarterback to win a Super Bowl, and hopefully one day I can enjoy it. I could join that elite company too.
Doug is legendary because he's a humanitarian. And I say that because he cares about people. He cares that people advance. He doesn't want his accomplishment to be like the end-all be-all. He wants everyone to accomplish and have the opportunities that he may not have had.
Born in Zachary, Louisiana, Doug Williams grew up in a close-knit community.
If you know anything about Zachary, Louisiana, back then it was a small rural town, close-knit, very family-oriented. I mean, everybody knew everybody.
I think he comes from a great family in Louisiana, a strong sports family, two brothers who set records at Grambling in the Grambling Hall of Fame. I think this family and their development is responsible for who Doug Williams has become.
Doug's natural athletic talent was evident in multiple sports during his youth. Though he excelled in baseball, he eventually focused on football, a decision that would change the course of sports history. Doug went on to attend Grambling State University, where legendary coach Eddie Robinson became a profound influence on his development.
Well, first of all, Eddie Robinson had coached a lot of football stars at Grambling, and I think Doug was one of those. I think he had a huge impact on Doug. Doug talked about that a lot.
When you put one of the greatest coaches to ever coach the game with one of the greatest quarterbacks who ever played college football, you end up with a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Doug's talent at Grambling caught the attention of NFL scouts. In 1978, he made history as the first black quarterback selected in the first round of the NFL draft.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, first round selection, quarterback, Doug Williams of Grambling.
The reason why I was after Doug is because, I was at Tampa Bay when Coach McKay said we're going to draft this quarterback. He had me go over and do the research at Grambling. I spent 3 days over there with Doug, came back, and I gave the report that this guy is, first of all, football smart, bright. I said he is a great person also, which is really important when you're picking a football player.
During his time with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Doug established himself as an exceptional quarterback.
Yeah, his arm was strong, but it was just something different about Doug. His big old hands just wrapped around a football. And sometimes he didn't throw it, he kind of flicked it, which was just, other people couldn't do that. Doug had great talent.
He was complete in my book. He was a guy who could think the game. He was also a guy who had the biggest arm out there, could get the ball down the field like many people couldn't.
After a stint in the USFL, Williams joined the Washington Redskins in 1986.
Doug was definitely played a key leader role on our football team as we went through that year and to the Super Bowl. I think the players looked up to him.
When I saw him get to the Super Bowl, I didn't think I couldn't. My mindset was I can accomplish anything now. There was nothing I couldn't accomplish out there. And I think it opened the eyes of a lot of people.
After his playing career ended, Doug continued to make an impact. He returned to his alma mater, Grambling State, as head coach, continuing a legacy of mentorship. In 2009, Doug and fellow Grambling State alumnus James "Shaq" Harris co-founded the Black College Football Hall of Fame, ensuring the legacy of HBCU athletes would be preserved for future generations.
What it does is give a lot of young guys an opportunity to be seen that probably wouldn't have been.
And in preserving their stories, we also have an opportunity to continue to recognize our schools, our alumni, and our teammates, because we felt we'd owe so much to them, giving us an opportunity to get a college degree.
Later, Doug joined the NFL as an executive, where he continues to mentor a new generation of players.
He's probably one of the most important and probably one of the most influential people that I know in my life, just because everything he had to endure throughout his career and his life, and he's always looking to help out the next one.
Just being who he is and the things that he did, he was humble to getting to where he is. He's still a humble man now. You know, if you know my dad, then you know he's not a big show off. He's not one of those who has to be in the spotlight.
He's truly a regular guy who's done extraordinary things.
Doug was never backing down, never giving up, not afraid to, take a stand and break through in the world of sports. And because of that, I think he did pave the way for a lot of young black quarterbacks. In particular, it was a breakthrough.
Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Williams.
After that film, we all can go home. I tell you, this is a great night, and I want to thank Mr. Copeland, Terry, Charlene, Avery for all the work that they've done, and the whole staff for becoming a Louisiana legend. I want to say thank you, and I want to say congratulations to the past honorees and to all the honorees that are sitting here tonight. This is, when you talk about Louisiana, it's such a great opportunity for me. Talk about Louisiana, and I'm not at home now, but it's nothing like coming home. I'm not Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz, but I clap my heels a lot just to send me home. I just want to say that. But I want to say this, and one of the men that you saw on that video, Coach Eddie Robinson. We used to go speak all the time, and you always hear Coach Rob say he was the luckiest man in the world. Well, bless his soul, I think I'm the luckiest man in the world. Not only for that, but being able to work with Coach Robinson, Coach Gibbs, John McKay, and all the people that I had the opportunity to learn from. But the most important people to me actually, sitting out in that audience today. I got friends out there, my roommate in college, Ricky Green, I got Troy, I got Neil, I got those guys out there that come to see me today. I want to thank Tim Bass, one of the owners of the Washington Commanders, who I still work for. Where's Tim? Tim is here? Is Tim left? Okay, stand up, Tim. Let him see you, Tim. Not only that, I want to thank the head of alumni for the Washington Commanders, Tim Hightower. He flew in. I saw him earlier tonight. And Tim had a friend with him, Cringy, right? How you pronounce that name? Okay. I got so much on my mind, I don't know, I'm telling you. But let me say this. We talk about siblings, and I want to say I got the greatest siblings of all time, and I know everybody else feels the same way. Three are not here tonight. They looking down on us. I want to say that, but I want to introduce you to the people that meant so much to me. First, I want to start with my baby brother. He don't like that part. That's Mike, who played quarterback, and his wife, who played quarterback behind me at Grambling. His wife, Roz. Manzi, who probably, Robert would argue with this, was probably the best athlete in the family. Stand up, Pop. You call him Pop. Is he there? And his friend, Sarah. My sister Jacqueline probably was the coolest of everybody in the family, who kept everybody together. Since my mom is gone, this is everybody stop at her house to eat every day. And her husband Johnny, and my oldest brother, who, I was fortunate enough to grow up with a mom and a dad. And I want to say this is my older brother, who was my dad when my dad wasn't around. And at that time I didn't like it, because he did some things that today, him and I would fight, but back then I couldn't fight him because he was older than me. But him and his wife, Dorothy, they're here tonight. I want to say thank them. But in the other part, my sibling, I got two daughters here tonight, Ashley, stand up Ashley, and Lee. And Ashley have her daughter Janaya with her tonight. It's unfortunate my other kids, I got 8 kids, and let me tell you something, ain't nothing like seeing them around each other. They run me out the room, they don't want me around, and I let them have it. But I want to say this, my wife, Dr. Rhonda Williams, sitting right there in the front, you've seen on the film. I tell you what, I'm lucky. She's a Louisiana born and raised too, from down in Homer, Louisiana, right around the bayou. Can't go no further south, you'll be in the Gulf. And her sister Angela, she's here. And a guy that I room with, I play with, him and his wife Hilda, Ricky Grant, who's just like a brother to me. Ricky and Hilda, they're here. So I'm fortunate tonight to have everybody here for this. And we talk about legends. And I was talking to somebody one day, and they said, Dad, what would you want on your headstone between whatever? I say, I can't write that. And just like being a legend, you can't write that. That ain't something you call yourself. I can't brand myself. It's something that has happened, and I'm glad to be a Louisiana legend, because that's who I feel I am. And I've been fortunate. James Harris, and he's mentioned that, James Harris, Shack James Harris, Sugar Shack James Harris, that's what they call him. And around the stadiums in the country that Grambling had a chance to play in, he always tell these ex-ball players that play for other colleges to check on his real estate. And they say, what real estate you got in our town? He say, in the end zone. They didn't understand that, so he say things like that. But I just want to say this is a great night for me to be standing here, and the support that I've gotten, and especially, I keep calling Tim, because the Washington Commanders has gone far beyond what they do for me over the last few years, supporting what I do. And I tell you, I be on more Zoom than I even imagine sometimes, and I wonder what I'm Zooming for. And it's more Shaq and I, because we do so many things. We got 4 or 5 events. We have the Black College Football Hall of Fame induction. We have the game up in Canton, Ohio. We have the Quarterback Summit, which is coming up. A lot of the young up-and-coming coaches in the NFL. We have a big powwow in Atlanta. We have the Grambling Legend Hall of Fame induction. I mean, we do so much, but sometimes you don't know you're doing it, because it's not about us. It's about other people. And that's what we try to do, is help people that hadn't had an opportunity to be seen, but get an opportunity to do some things. And coming back here today, makes me realize that the things that we do, is all worth it. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about, helping somebody else. If you can lend somebody else a helping hand, you do that. Because I've been fortunate, because somebody loaned me a hand coming up. And I think about standing up here, and I know these 2 people, man, if they was here today, how proud they would be. And that's Laura and Robert Williams. They responsible for all the people that are out there, and the one who stand up here. And that's my dad and my mom. And I just want to say thank you for what you've done for us. My brother Larry Pete Williams, my sister Josephine, and my sister Barbara. Those people, we was family, and we still family. And that's what makes it so good being back home. Somebody say, you going, when you leaving tomorrow? No, I'm going to stay the weekend, because I got to stay a little longer. Daughter clipped her heels, I kicked mine in, so I'm at home right now, so I'm enjoying. I just want to say thank you all for coming out. And I know I'm last, but most of the time my name starts with a W. I'm last most of the time. So it's nothing new for me. So I want to say thank you all for coming, and hey, thank all you legends for being a part of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, our 2025 Louisiana Legends. On behalf of all of us at LPB, we want to thank you for being part of this unforgettable experience and evening as we celebrate the extraordinary achievements of this year's Louisiana Legends. To our honorees, your contributions to our great state continue to make us proud. Thank you, and thank you. Good night, everyone.
The 2025 Louisiana Legends Gala is brought to you